Okay, so this video's coming out a day late because I had a lot going on, and then yesterday afternoon, I'm like, you know what? I just want to go live, and we'll just talk about the big day for the franchise tag and everything going on there. So instead of doing my XFL video last night, I ended up just doing an NFL live stream. So usually I like to get these out on Tuesdays. It's not 100% gonna happen. But if it doesn't, you'll either see it on, Wednesday or Thursday. So here we are on Wednesday. Tomorrow, Thursday, you will get my predictions for week 4. But let's get into it this week. 3-1 again. The Defenders beat the Battlehawks, and yeah. And there's a big fight at the end of the game. Big fight at the end of this game. They don't like each other, and they play each other in week 5 again. And then, if somehow they both make the playoffs, they would play a round 3. God, it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens with them. If they're the two teams to make it out of their division into the playoffs. I think a round 3 would be really interesting. I think it depends on who has the home field advantage, because I think that is going to help. We'll see with St. Louis, because there's over 30,000 tickets sold for the St. Louis game this coming weekend, so I'm very excited for that. But I got that one wrong, but I'm really interested in these two teams. They actually seem like they're really close to each other. I know towards the end the Defenders started to pull away, and then the final score was it's a 1-score game essentially. But for most of the game, there was a bunch. I think there was 5 turnovers in the first half between them. So yeah, it was a really interesting game. That first half was really interesting. I believe it was 14-14 at half too. So anyway, outside of that, Sea Dragons, Vipers. I thought that was a pretty interesting game too. Dragons got their first win of the season, 1-2. So good for them. I believe the Vikings. Oh my god, I believe the Vipers are 1-2 as well. I think I don't remember. I don't start focusing really on the standings until at least week 6 or 7. Because then we can start looking at, if this team wins out, they can make the playoffs and all this other crap. So I don't know the records by heart right now, but I'll get to it eventually. But I think they're 1-2 as well. But that was a pretty good game. I forget what the score was. I want to say it was 26-22 or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but pretty good game. Was it better than Battlehawks and Defenders? It might have been. It might have been better than Battlehawks and Defenders. It was a pretty tight game. And then we had the worst game of the year. Woohoo! This might not get topped. This might not get topped. So, Guardians, Renegades, 2 of the worst teams in the league, 9-10. 9-10. And the only reason this didn't go into overtime is because the Renegades were able to stop. I'm sorry. I think they win for. Actually, I think they win for 1. So yeah, I believe they win for 1. So the only reason this thing going into overtime was because the Renegades were able to stop them on their defense with the 2-point conversion or the 1-point conversion play. So this crappy game, which I believe the Renegades had a touchdown in the first quarter, and then did not score besides a field goal in the second half, I believe is what it was, and then it was late in the game that the Guardians scored. But this was just a crappy game. If you watch this game, I'm so sorry. I caught the highlights of it. I didn't put too much thought into it. Didn't really care too much. But I saw the highlights. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm so glad I did not have to sit through that. I'm so glad I'm not a fan of either of those teams, because that was a mess. That was a huge mess. So, and then Houston got held to, I believe, the lowest points of the season. I believe they've been above 30 for the first 2 weeks. So they got held to, I think it was 26 or 28, something like that. And the Brahmas, this final score wasn't that close, but they put up a little bit of a fight. They gave them their best shot. So I think, if they were to see each other in the future again, I think maybe they would have a chance to, make this a better game, a closer game. Obviously, it's only week 3, okay? It's only week 3. When we get to week 10, that's when it's okay, well, these teams are going to, start really kicking it into gear. So we'll see. But you know, I thought it was interesting. But they were able to hate them. They were able to hate them. They were able to hold them to their lowest points scored on offense all year in the first 3 weeks so far. So that's an achievement in itself. That can be a blueprint if they do face each other. Again later this year. I don't know if they're in the same division, but if they can play each other in the championship game or the finals, maybe they can have another good go around, and maybe the Brahmas can. Did I say Braham before? Crap. Anyway, maybe they can have a better outing. So, with that, 10-2, we have hit double digits. Still going strong. Back-to-back weeks of 3-1. I can't top 4-0. I have to get one wrong. I can't top week 1. I put no thought, no effort. It was all just a guessing game week 1, and I went undefeated. And now that I'm putting thought into this, now that I'm really thinking about this, it's like, okay, we can't give you a perfect score anymore. So I'm just going to have to be like one of those kids at school that just barely does any of the work, shows up for the tests, and suddenly are just getting an A on it. I got to just start being like that kid. Just got to take my brain out of my head like SpongeBob and just throw it away and just randomly pick games. Because that might get me another 4-0. But I'm happy with 10-2. We're going to try to stay under 10 losses on the season. So if I went 3-1 the rest of the year, I would hit 9 losses. So that's would be nice. Is that going to be reasonable? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things go. Because I don't do these in advance. I literally plan these out post the week. So usually Monday, I usually start planning stuff out, kind of thinking and getting my thoughts together. And I will do the picks on Tuesdays, again, when I record these. I don't like to go, oh, let's go week 7. Let's start planning that out. Let's pick a team there. Because by the time we get to week 7, some of these good teams could have fallen off the face of the earth. And then it's like, okay, well, I have these all pre-recorded and whatnot, but look at how bad they are because teams fell off the face of the earth. So we'll just see. We'll hope and pray that I can go 3-1 the rest of the year. I would love 3-1, 4-0s. I would not like 1-3s. I would not like 0-4s. I would not be. I don't know if I'd really care about 2-2. But we're gonna try to stay positive in the win column and negative. Well, not really negative, but under 500 in the loss column. You know what I mean. We're gonna try to stay above 500 in total. For my picks. So for now, like the video, share the video around, don't forget to subscribe, and I'm out of here. Peace.